Hi everyone, in this video I will show you the CAD software in general. This will cover how to install the software, how to manipulate the different windows, how to dock the software, and generally how to manipulate the model. So let's go. To verify whether the CAD software is installed, we need to see if you can see this Enable CAD icon on the measure toolbar. You'll also see the CAD toolbar along the top if the software has been docked. If you don't see this Enable CAD button, it means the software has not been installed and you will need to download and install the software before you can use it. If the software isn't installed, you will need to go and download the MSI file from the Aberlink website. That is aberlink.com. We go to Support, Software and Documentation, and then CAD module, and you will see the CAD version here. The version will change over time. Click download and that will download the MSI file, and we can run that MSI file to install the CAD software. With the software now installed, we should be able to see the Enable CAD icon, and if we click on this it will open the CAD. To start with, we need to cover all the different packages. So as standard with any Aberlink3D license, you have CAD output. This is this icon here, available free of charge. The two optional extra CAD packages are programming. If you do have a program license, you'll see Enable Probe. If it's not licensed, you will not see this icon. And lastly, we have CAD output, and that is displayed via the best fit icon, which lets you utilize the CAD output tools. So depending on which licenses you have, this toolbar may look different to what you're seeing now, but just be aware of that. Depending on your setup, you will have the CAD software set up differently. If you are using a dual monitor system, I would highly recommend having the CAD window on one monitor and the Aberlink window on the other monitor. However, if you are using a single monitor setup, there is this dock icon here, and if we click dock, the icon is a boat going into dock. If we click on that icon, it will dock the CAD window down into the bottom left window of the standard software, and all the CAD toolbars get added to the standard toolbars in the normal software. So that is the dock function. If you click dock again, it will undock it, and again you can have these as two separate windows. It often depends on the size of the model and the detail you require, but if you are working on one screen, it's very useful to use this dock feature. Now we can look at bringing a model in, and I'll show you how to manipulate it, i.e. move it around, spin it around, etc. So on the CAD toolbar, click the open file icon, load CAD file into viewer. You can either click on this and navigate to the file, or the drop down arrow next to it will open recent CAD models. These need to be in a step or IGES format. So brass spindle, we'll open that one up, and the CAD model has loaded in. So firstly, if you roll the mouse wheel in and out, this will zoom in. It will zoom in to wherever your mouse wheel is. So wherever the mouse arrow is, it will zoom in and out to that. If you need to look at the sides of the model, you can press the mouse wheel in, and that will tilt around. So this is pressing the mouse wheel in and moving the mouse. If you press the mouse wheel in and roll the mouse wheel at the same time, it will pivot on the spot. And if you press the mouse wheel in and right click button at the same time and move the mouse, this will pan. So these are the mouse commands. You also have this new viewing block down in the right hand corner of the CAD window, and if you click on a face, it will square up with that face. So if I click on the blue face, it's the front, red face is this side, green face will snap to the nearest view on that face. And you can then spin the model by using the axis lines. So this is the blue axis, green axis, yeah. And if I click the dot in the middle, it will rotate on the axis we are looking straight down at. So that is how you manipulate the model in the Aberlink3D CAD software. Now let's look at the CAD toolbar. The open model we have already discussed. The red cross closes the file. This gets rid of the CAD model itself. We then have the CAD output option. Settings, which I'll cover later on. If you have CAD programming, you will have the enable probe option. This switches on the probe for programming. Visual alignment I'll cover in the programming section of this tutorial series. It's how we align the axis of the machine with the axis of the model. If you have CAD compare, you'll see this best fit hand. This opens up the CAD compare tools. We have display options. So to start with, the slider does the transparency of the model, turns it to like a wireframe. Fit all contents to screen is like a redraw. So if we go here and click fit all contents to screen, it redraws to fit everything on the screen at once. This is the CAD screen only. Zoom to view box. So this is just to drag a box around something and zoom in on it. Again, you can also use the mouse wheels as previously discussed. Custom views, so you can have 6 custom views. These are set up via holding the shift button and clicking on one of the custom view numbers. So for example, if I had a specific view at this thread, let's say, I can go to custom views here, and if I hold shift on the keyboard, then left click on custom view 1, the idea is that if I then manipulate the model but wanted to go back to that custom view, it is now stored in here. Useful when you have a lot of different intricate features on a CAD model and you want to recall that view quickly without having to manipulate the model with the mouse. We then have view. You can do shaded, flat lines, makes it a little bit duller, wireframe, or points. Now try programming with that. But useful, you might have a use for it. As standard, it's shaded. That's how we do most of our programming, but the options are there. Set colors and options. This is going back into settings, which I'll cover at the next stage. And then lastly, we have CAD tools. Now it's very important to note that the CAD toolbar, or the CAD tools toolbar, the drop-down boxes that you, or drop-down options that you have will change depending on whether you are in programming mode or not. So if I switch the probe on, you see the options I get in here are specifically for programming. If I switch them off and go back to it, these are specifically for comparison. So the toolbars will change. It's also worth noting, if you need to have these on the toolbar here, there is a space in the toolbar to do custom icons. So if I want to use, for example, any one of these options, I can right click and drag it to the toolbar and it becomes available there whether I go to CAD tools or not. Now because this is a CAD programming option, if I switch this off, it will disappear. Say I wanted a CAD compare toolbar on there, again it disappears. So you see how they change. If you need to remove these, you just click and drag them. So this is right click and drag down into the CAD window and you'll see they disappear. So that's how you can set up a custom toolbar. And that is the CAD toolbar options. As a very last thing to wrap up this exercise, we will go into settings. So again, this is CAD here, display options, and there's a lot of different things you can mess around with in here. I definitely recommend having a play around and seeing what you prefer. I know some people prefer to change the axis cross and rotation cube, which is this here, change the percentage size. So for example, if I change that to 60, you'll see the box get bigger. Same with the axis cross size. Some people, if programming on a laptop or smaller screen, you might want to make that a little bit bigger. There's a lot of other tick boxes here for showing safe volumes, etc. I'll not go into all of them in this particular exercise. I just want to make you aware of them. You can also, if you go to colors, you can change the colors of certain things. Most of these are for the safety volume, but you'll also notice that the CAD model can be set up to be a certain color if you prefer. It's totally personal preference. There's also CAD options in here. This is mainly for programming, but you get the idea. You can set up your probe head limits, and for the CAD compare, you can set the amount of attempts and total time that it's allowed to do a best fit. So these are the settings. Again, I will cover these in a more detailed video at the end of the tutorial, but just to make you aware, these are where they are located. So it's settings, CAD, and you have display options, colors, and options.